Hey everybody and welcome. We have 5.0 preliminary, can't even say the word, patch notes reading today, guys. So for you, if you have not read these, the link is in the description below. You guys can go check out and read along with the patch notes yourself. So what we're going to be focusing in on is the patch notes reading themselves, giving my thoughts, impressions of them overall. Now, there is chat live going on right now, and we will engage with chat here as soon as we get through a lot of this. It might kind of come and go, but just if you're watching this in the archive, thank you very much, and I'm glad you're here. So, guys, I cannot believe it. The first thing to note is that I literally did not expect them to be today. I thought they were going to go live tomorrow, but it says, "Is it with great pleasure that we present the preliminary patch notes for Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers? A new world of adventure awaits you in the first as you are called to its continent of Norvant. Will you cast off your role as the warrior light and rise to the challenge to bring back the darkness? You must face the myriad perils of lands unknown, but you do so, you will it will be up to you. Whether you choose to take up the fight as a gunbreaker or dancer, see the world through the eyes of a Viera or Hrothgar, or leverage trust to challenge dungeons with your NPC allies, you will find that there is much to be done both near and far, and plentiful updates to the battle system and crafting and gathering, as well as the other new features and improvements to make it all worthwhile." Oh my gosh, guys. Hopefully you've got some coffee, you've buckled up, you're ready to rock and roll, as am I. So, okay, so Final Fantasy XIV patch 5.0. Typically in these kind of patches, sometimes they designate if something is specific to just 5.0 or if it's something like where it's literally like, 2.0, 3.0, or 4.0, and you'll sometimes see that as a symbol up here at the top. Starts off with the trailer. We've already seen it. We've already freaked out about it, so I'm really, really quite thrilled about it. So, here is the designations you can see: 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, and 5.0. Like that we're going with the purple color for 5.0. That's really fantastic. All right, so the new cities have been added. The Crystarium, and obviously this is something that really harbors my history with the game, tying back into Rapture, which was kind of their tech demo that they showed off many, many years before they revealed Final Fantasy XIV, and Ulmor. And this is apparently the last city, the city of wealth, the city of the fat cats that we've also seen in the trailer as well. They say new field areas have been added, so we see images of Lakeland. I've actually run around Lakeland. It is quite substantial. I can't wait to see how it ends up balancing out with the light and the dark overall. So it's going to be really exciting to see that. And Colusa. I apologize. I really think this is cool. This kind of reminds me of when they first kind of showed off Frontlines and how they were kind of like saying there's going to be some large 72-man content, and that is just kind of harkens back to the original 2.0 documentation. And you can see here again, you can see the city right there. Amarang is going to be how we rock and roll this. This looks obviously like very, very similar to Thanalan. Very desert-like. You obviously got the train tracks and things rocking like that. You got what I would almost call like this light crystal wave that you can see is just consuming. So when they talk about the wave of light, it literally could have, I guess, meaned a crystal as it kind of breaks itself down and consumes the world and twists the world in an interesting way. And we can kind of see the land being shifted. Ilmeg, we've also been here. Oh gosh, it's so beautiful. The land of the fairies, the tricksters, all of that. Oh, and I haven't seen this yet. You can see the various mushroom houses. That's freaking amazing. The Ratika Greatwood, we've seen this kind of from the trailer back when they announced the zones. Very Gridania-esque. Love the essence. The music for this zone is freaking incredible. And so I'm very excited. I cannot wait for everybody to kind of run around. I didn't get to experience this zone, so I really cannot wait to get there. And then new city and field aetherytes have been added, which is kind of funny to say because, it's a weird note because, of course, they've been added, and that's just kind of how it is. Now, quests for 5.0 introduces a myriad of quests in addition to the main scenario. As such, there may be cases where the patch notes one city initial quest is in a series or omits quests entirely to prevent spoilers. We encourage players to explore and discover the new stories that adventures away. So that all players are able to enjoy the expansion at their own pace, we kindly ask that you do not post main scenario spoilers on the official forums, Lodestone, social media, or in videos. You got it, Chief. And so then we got Obviously, new main scenario quests have been added. You have Menphilia as the kind of the word, the mother, and her that form. We also know that there's another Menphilia, and what their relationship is going to be. It's going to be interesting. Then we have the the Crystal Keeper. His body is slowly turning to crystal. I believe he's the same. I'm not going to ruin spoilers here in this post. Faye right there, Oriange, and in this case Yustola, but also maybe Matoya. So it's going to be neat to see what their relationship and how that evolves through this game. So new side story quests have been added. So side story quests added for patch 5.0 will now employ an automatic level adjusting system known as Quest Sync. Quests using the system will have their difficulty and EXP rewards adjusted to match your current level. Personally, I'm very, very excited about this because of that fact, because one of the things I ended up doing in Stormblood was I kind of saved all the side quests and ended up kind of clearing them up for different jobs. It's going to be really nice to be able to kind of dive into that even in a lower level zone at a higher level. I'm not going to have to try to sync all of that up. It's going to be hopefully a little bit easier to kind of dive into and have a really good time with. Role quests have been added. Each disciple of War Magic will be able to progress through one of these 4 series of quests based on their designated role. The required level ranges from 70 to 80. Now, furthermore, completion of of at least one of these series of role quests is required to complete the main scenario of Shadowbringers. So, personally, this is a really good positive change for me because I ended up always kind of sitting on my job quests until I actually hit level cap. I never really, especially from 70 to 80, 60 to 70, never really needed it. You only got the ability at the end. So I ended up just waiting and doing them all after I cleared the story and after I hit level cap. So this is kind of, I think, going to feed into that. I'm wondering if many other people ended up doing the same thing as well. So then they're talking about, here are the different quests that you have. So a man of too many scars. This is going to be, a tank at level 70. And then for monks, no greater sport. Level 70 is the requirements. Black Mage, Summoner, Red Mage, Holy Pursuits, or Hollow Pursuits, excuse me. For White Mage, Scholar, and Astrologian, Traditions and Traveler Travails. And then for Disciple of War Magic at level 80, who knows what it's called. So we're going to have to go from there. So new job quests have been added. The Disciples of War and Magic will be able to accept one new job quest after completing the final quest in the main scenario in their designated role quest series. That's going to be interesting. So you can see Paladin, Warrior, Dark Knight, Gunbreaker, Monk, Dragoon, Ninja, Samurai, Bard, Machinist, Dancer, Black Mage, Summoner, Red Mage, White Mage, Scholar, Astrologian. So that's actually kind of neat. So it's role, but then you get one additional based off of, I guess, your job. I'm wondering, we'll have to wait and see if you can do this for all the jobs or if you only end up having to pick one. I don't know how I'm necessarily interpreting that. If chat has an idea of how they're interpreting that, let me know, chat. We'll and I'll bring it in. So Cristerium deliveries have been added. This seems obviously very similar to what we've already seen. So they are a new type of custom deliveries. Each disciple of the hand or land will be able to progress through one of the 5 series of quests associated with different facets of the crystalline mean. So completion of deliveries or the facet of the crystalline mean will advance the story of that particular facet. And they show the various UI system here, esteem level, esteem, and the required items to be met. So then you have the crystalline mean. This is disciple of hand and land at level 70. The facet of forging for blacksmith, armor, and goldsmith is there as well. Then you have the facet of crafting for carpenter, leatherworker, or weaver. The facet of nourishing for alchemist and culinarian, and the facet of gathering for miner and botanist, and the facet of fishing just for fishers alone. And in addition to the quest will be unlocked upon completing the entirety of the main scenario, all 5 Cristerium delivery quest series. So you get an additional one at level 80 for having completed all 5 of the series themselves. So, not a shocker, new leave quests have been added for Disciples of Hand and Land. Nothing for battle. Sucks to be you if you wanted those for battle. Tradecraft and Fieldcraft leaves quest rewards will be significantly reduced when using a class at level 70 or above to complete a leave with the requirement below 70. So, if you guys hit 70 and you're doing any leaves that are below 70, serious reduction into the type of rewards. So, new fates have been added. I like the look of this jib on this boss right here. That looks really awesome. A player will receive a bicolor gemstones upon completing fates in 5.0 areas. This currency can be exchanged with gemstone trader NPCs for various goods. And I speak personally to this. This is a great change. We ran more fates just at the media tour than we did any time in Stormblood. And so I'm really excited for you guys to experience this as well, because it gives Fates a purpose. And then the cool thing is that as you continue to complete Fates in these new areas, more traders are actually going to offer a wider selection of items for you to acquire, which is really cool. Now, hopefully this means that there's always going to have some kind of value to that, and thus Fates remain relevant for a long period of time. Now, to view your progress in each area, select Fate under the Traveler in the menu. So you see your shared Fates, and you can see your various ranks within the different zones for Fates themselves. I think that's pretty freaking cool. Can't wait to explore that a little bit more. So the following additions and adjustments have been made to treasure maps. So Gilderskin treasure maps and Zoraskin treasure maps have been added. Rewards for the Wyvern skin treasure maps, the Galka skin, have been adjusted, and the Algian tomestones rewarded for completion of the treasure maps has been changed from the tomestones of Mendacity and tomestones of Genesis to tomestones of Poetics. Not a shocker, guys. Everything's going, everything is coming up Millhouse and rocking the Poetics tomestones. Players will now be synced to level 70 when entering the Canals of Uzanar, the Hidden Canals of Uzanar, and the Shifting Altars of Uzanar. So that's going to remain level 70 content. I wonder if it's going to still, I guess represent any kind of value there. We'll have to wait and see, because the new stuff comes out at the end of July. So if you guys aren't aware, those new maps are going to have new content that drops for it at the end of July, along with the Savage Raid. So, grand and free companies. Additional items can now be accepted for supply and provisioning missions. Pretty standard. Then they say the display of submersible parameters have been adjusted. You can see the UI element here. And then it's talking about the base, bonus, and total. Base value of submersible components. Bonus value added according to the rank. And the total value of submersible components, etc. So, Blue Mage, Gunbreaker, and Dancer symbol options have been added to the company crest. So, if you want to use that, you can now use that to your company crests. Housing. Furnishing from Final Fantasy XIV's Furnishing Design Contest has been added. So you can see the various draperies, you can see the log, and new furnishings have also been added. So it looks like we've got some stained glass windows if you guys want to build a church that has flowers and a pew in the middle of it. Up to you. You do you. So Blue Mage, Gunbreaker, and Dancer gear has been added to the mannequins. Okay. New estate tags have been added. So an Altair, a bathhouse, a garden, and Far Eastern. Okay, fun. A preview function for furnishings has been added. So they've talked about this. I think a lot of people are really excited about the fact that you can now preview the furnishing itself. So that's going to be really cool. So using the furnishing preview, select either preview indoor furnishings and preview outdoor furnishings from the housing menu under social to display applicable furnishings. Furnishings will be sorted by category with a separate category for furnishings newly added to each patch. A search function is also available to find specific furnishings themselves. Restrictions on exterior fixtures based on housing wards have been removed. Players can now use exterior fixtures associated with any district for their estate. Okay, I think that's a positive move. I'd love to know what you guys think about that, if you're happy that they're removing these restrictions. To help a help interface will now display when speaking with a resident caretaker about housing features. And then crafting facility furnishings can now be used by crafting classes up to level 70. In accordance with the increased character level cap to level 80, Crystarium striking dummies have been added. New orchestrating roles have been added, and new aquarium fishes have been added. I know that's why we all pre-ordered Shadowbringers. And Chats right now is asking me, is it all good? Yeah, so far it's pretty good. We'll have this for the archive, and I'll just to remind everybody who's joined in, we'll be kind of chatting with you guys here after we finish the full-on reading. So thanks for hanging out with me as I stutter through the notes. New seeds for flower pots have been added. And then you can see the blue and the red. That looks pretty. And then it looks like the hydrangea seeds can be purchased from the following NPCs. I'm not going to go over that list. You can see it on the screen if you need it. The Manderview Gold Saucer, new prizes have been are available for purchase using MVP. The following additions and changes have been made to Triple Triad. So new cards, new NPC opponents, and players can now engage in Triple Triad matches in new areas. The following additions and changes have been made to Dome and Mahjong. An option to reset rank and the rating has been added. The image of your character is now displayed when playing. The display of calls can now be canceled by right-clicking with your mouse. The icon will now be displayed to indicate when you are further. The auto-declare winning hand feature has been added. When the option to declare Ron or call appears simultaneously, declaring Ron will cause the option to call to be skipped automatically. In the event of a draw, Tenpai or Noten unable to call the winning hand will be indicated in the for corresponding players. When a player discards a tile, there is a certain probability of a short delay occurring, even when no other players call that tile. So miscellaneous updates. Players can now select the Rothko, aka Ronso, and Viera races. Really excited about this, guys. If you're not aware, log out tonight. When you log out for your last day of not Shadowbringers, Stormblood, unequip your gear, go log out naked, drink your potion, and that way when you log in on the 28th, you can go right in and update your character if you're planning on race changing, which personally I am. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the sightseeing log. Shadowbringers entries have been added to the sightseeing log. Shocker. Entries can now be completed regardless of the class and job. The following additions and changes have been made to the challenge log itself. New categories have been added in your fate and in your fate 2. So they say complete fate 5 fates with the highest rating possible and complete 10 fates with the highest rating possible. So they're making it just, more based off of your participation than just any sheer number of it. The following categories have been removed: Fated and Wander and Embrace Your Fate. So this is about 5 fates in different regions and 10 successful fates. So it's all about that gold rank being fully ingrained into it. Coinciding with the increase in level cap experience points awarded upon completing challenge log, objectives have been increased. Chloe Bronze's certificates of commendation have been added as rewards for completing the Wonders trials. These certificates can be exchanged with Chloe for a number of unique prizes. So keeping Wander's Tales unique and active again. I can't wait. Skywatcher NPCs have been added to new areas. Upon meeting certain requirements, Skywatcher NPCs in the first will be able to offer weather forecasts for the source. Conversely, Skywatcher NPCs in the source will be able to offer weather forecast on the first. These people are freaking mind readers transitioning between dimensions and able to know the weather on the source and the first. I love it. New emotes have been added. New hairstyles have been added. Very nice. All right, let's get to what everybody wants to know. Battle system changes. Level cap has been, for all Disciples of War Magic, has been raised to 80. Gunbreaker and Dancer jobs have been added. These jobs have no corresponding class, and they actually begin at level 60. So Gunbreaker's a tank, and you can unlock Gunbreaker by doing the quest Makings of Gunbreaker. So if you're planning on it, go to Gridania. That's where this is going to kick off. Dancer is a DPS. Dancer can be unlocked by completing the following quest. And this is going to be Shall We Dance in Limsa Lamenza. So go head out there for that job if that's what you want to jump into right away. In accordance with these additions, the new job, gear for the Gunbreaker and Dancer, has been added to the rewards for certain duties and will now be sold by merchant NPCs. Additionally, Gunbreakers and Dancers will not receive the first time completion bonus from guild hests. They will not. Wow, that's a shocker. Like, I'm always like, it's always kind of nice because you always get that first time bonus for the job. But I guess things got to change. New job actions have been added. They highlighted this in the reel. So if you guys haven't checked out that video, you can always go check it out as well. Substantial revisions have been made to the battle system. Umbral Ice also now reduces MB cost for ice spells. I really actually am excited about that. This effect increases with each stack gained. Honestly, this one of the things that, from a Black Mage perspective, I was like, well, if fire increases the cost, it'd be really cool if ice decreased. And it does. Obviously only for ice spells as well. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I think that's going to get you a lot more in your rotation. But we'll have to wait and see. Enmity gained through certain healing actions has been reduced. Okay. To improve player usability, time frame within each player must execute actions to continue or complete combos has been extended. A fixed set of roles actions have been assigned to all jobs. Players will learn role actions as they level up and will no longer be required to select a subset of these actions to be used in combat. The following adjustments have been made to the limit breaks. The rate at which limit break gauge fills up when using healing actions has been reduced. The limit break gauge will no longer fill when non-healer jobs use healing actions. The rate in which the limit break gauge fills in new areas when taking damage from enemies under certain conditions has also been reduced. The interrupt effect has been added. A gauge indicating when actions can be interrupted has been added. Player actions with this effect can prevent the execution of the enemy abilities when used before the bar can be filled. The following actions will have this effect: interject and head graze. So you can see it's kind of flashing. It's got the little thing over the cast symbol. So this is just like where we saw with the blue line added to the healer buff where, you can like actually like in Suna cure somebody of something. This is really nice to see that as it plays out. So in accordance with this change, the silence effect has been removed. Okay. These actions allow players to expend charges to execute them multiple times in quick succession. The recast time for these actions determines the rate at which these charges are accumulated. The maximum number of these charges for these actions can be confirmed via the action help text. And restarting a duty will automatically recharge all actions to maximum. And so you can kind of see that here. You got your charge. It's also still doing its cooldown. So you can see the maximum charges and how often you can use it. Guys, this feels really good. It's going to be really neat to see how this ends up impacting our rotations and things like that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Certain weapon skills and spells will now have unique recast timers. This was kind of shocker. I didn't actually feel this, but maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention. While these actions will still be affected by the global cooldown, they will not share the recast timer with other weapon skills. A timer will be displayed over the icon of the weapon skills and spells with unique recast timers. That's just kind of a shocker. You can kind of see here, it's got its own little recast, and then it's also using the global cooldown. So this is a whole shift in how these things kind of function. It's going to be neat to see how it ends up feeling. And the following adjustments have been made to pets. Pet actions have been removed, and this has been replaced by obviously the different actions that kind of trick them or have them use their abilities. Pets can also no longer be targeted. Pets no longer can be displayed in the party list. Pet HP is no longer displayed when targeted. So like they can't be targeted. So it's kind of funny that they can't be targeted by player or enemy actions. And then if you happen to manage to figure out a way to target them, you can't display their HP. So basically they're just there. They're an extension, and they're not going to have their own HP bar. TP has been removed. This honestly I think is a really kind of interesting change because I haven't felt TP has been a problem for a long time, but maybe I'm wrong in that regards. You're welcome, Esper. Well, I'm really curious to see y'all's thoughts here in a second. I think we're halfway, guys. Maximum MP for all jobs has been fixed at 10,000. The MP cost of actions has been adjusted accordingly. The effect of piety has been changed from increasing maximum MP to increasing MP regeneration rate. This, in my mind, is very valuable. MP refresh is going to be, I think, probably a real key factor in that because we'll have to wait and see how it plays out ultimately with healers, but it's going to be nice. Parrying is now less effective at reducing damage. Blocking is now less effective at reducing damage. Like, oh man. Okay, guys. Thanks for that one. Thanks for that nerf. In accordance with these changes, which also maybe ties into the healing changes, where, they don't want you to be so, just so perfect at reducing damage. In accordance with the changes of the player attributes, the effects of certain monsters and NPC actions have also been adjusted. The party bonus effects have been adjusted. Players will now receive a 1% increase to strength, vitality, dexterity, mind, intelligence for each unique role in the party up to a maximum of 5%. So the roles are classified as followed. You have your tanks, Screw, Gladiator, Paladin, Warrior, Dark Knight, Gunbreaker, Melee, Monk, Dragoon, Ninja, Samurai, Physical Range DPS, Bard, Machinist, Dancer, Magical Range DPS, Black Mage, Summoner, Red Mage, Blue Mage, and Healer, a White Mage, Scholar, Astrologian. And those are the 5 role categories. So the 100% increase to XP gained granted through the armory bonus now applies to all jobs below 70. So pairing this with your earring, you're talking about a huge amount of XP bonus that's going to rock your world and really kind of help you get at least to 70. So just keep that in mind, maybe 71. In accordance with these increased level caps, the bonuses for new worlds and preferred worlds are now acceptable up to level 69. So if you're on a preferred world or a new world, you're going to see an even better increase in that bonus. So new dungeons have been added. You can see several screenshots here. Very beautiful stuff. Oh yeah. Yeah, I love the outdoorsiness of these dungeons right here. And then this gold and white. I cannot wait. I think, yeah, I'm really excited to go there. The EXP chain bonus for instance dungeons has been removed. In accordance with this change, the amount of XP gained in instance dungeons has been increased. The trust system has been added. The trust system allows you to challenge main scenario dungeons with a party of allied NPCs. Trust must be composed of 1 tank, 1 healer, and 2 PS. This feature cannot be used while in a party with other players. Using the trust system, you enter the dungeons for the first time. After reaching the quest objective to clear a dungeon in the main scenario, several allied NPCs will be standing near the dungeon entrance. Speak to them and you will have the option to add them to your party to enter the dungeon. revisiting dungeons. The trust system can be used to enter dungeons you have already completed. First, select Trust under Duty in the main menu. In the window that appears, select Dungeon if you wish to enter the NPCs to accompany you. The item level sync has been applied to certain instance battle quests or quest battles. In accordance with this increased level cap, players can now gain experience from level 70 dungeons all the way and 4.x Alliance raid dungeons. Yay. The first time we had an expansion, that was not the case. The first time we had the expansion, like, you would get no experience. You would just get a bonus at the end of it. And it was like, well, I guess I'm not running those ever. New trials have been added. You can see that it looks like our 2 new kind of quote-unquote, not really primals, kind of mindset. The Echo will be applied to all 4X trials. The strength of the Echo granted by an Omega Alphascape Savage has been increased. The Echo will take effect upon entering Omega Alphascape Savage, and players increasing extra HP, damage dealt, and healing potency up by 20%. The following additions and changes have been made to the Algain Tomestones. Bye-bye, out of here, Genesis. So, Goita has been added. Players contain maximum 2,000. Moreover, players can only receive Tomestones of Goita after reaching level 80 in at least one class or job. There is no weekly limitations to Tomestones. A secondary currency Tomestones of Phantasmagoria will be available approximately 4 weeks after the start of official service for Shadowbringers. Now, Tomestones of Mendacity and Tomestones of Genesis are done. Get out of here. However, players who retain all currency held by the Tomestones and NPCs will now give players the option to exchange Tomestones of Mendacity and Genesis for Poetics. Moreover, items could be purchased in exchange for Tomestones of Mendacity and Genesis can now be purchased using Poetics. So, Tomestones of Creation have been removed from the game. Players can now use the undersized party option to participate in duties introduced after the release of Stormblood. This is going to be fun. We're going to go wreck some things. The Raid Finder now only lists trials and duties introduced with patch 5.0. The Duty Finder has been adjusted as follows. So duties associated with each duty roulette category have been adjusted. Duty finding categories have also been adjusted. The roulette level 50 and 60 dungeons and duty roulette level 70 dungeons have been combined to level 50, 60, and 70 dungeons. The type and number of tomestones received at each duty roulette category has been adjusted. So you can kind of see the list here. It's all going to be focusing on Goita right now and Poetics. Similar kind of breakdowns. And then here in a couple of weeks when Phantasmagoria gets introduced, you're going to see them kind of adjust this again as well. So you're going to be able to see how you get all your goats. It's going to be fun. The weekly restrictions on receiving crack clusters upon clearing the Orbon Monastery has been removed. New enemies have been added. I love these guys. These guys are fantastic, and I think you're gonna be really surprised with how awesome these enemies are. This is just literally gonna rock your world, guys. I cannot wait for you to experience it. New elite marks have been added. Look at this freaking nut job right here. Like, look at this. Oh my gosh, he's the thing of nightmares. Cannot wait to kick him in the behind. Players can now hunt regular and elite marks in new areas. Marks defeated in new areas will also yield sacks of nuts. Get those nuts. Just like these nuts is the only thing that comes to mind. Which can be exchanged for various items. Players must first complete the following quests before taking up the hunt in these areas. Nuts to you. I'm such a kid right now. Like, this is freaking hype. Freaking hype, guys. So you can see here the human load out in the Crystarium. Level 70 Disciples of War. You can exchange sacks and nuts for items of the following NPCs. The Crystarium, XY Rory, and Eelmore. Free. Oh my god. Alright, the notification will now display when an S-rank elite mark spawns near your current area. I'm really excited. To sense the presence of a powerful mark. This is going to be great. The notification indicating the direction of rank B marks will now be displayed when you spawn in the area. Since marked to the north, south, east, west. I wish it kind of said warmer or colder. But, it is what it is. A notification indicating a nearby rank B mark has been defeated will also be displayed. You no longer sense the presence of your mark. So Trina's Silk Cap has been increased from 1,000 to 4,000. Mark bills for a Realm of Born and Heavensward areas can now be used to open maps for the respected areas. The following additions and changes have been made to Deep Dungeons. The Palace of the Dead. Items yielded by bronze trim sacks, iron trim sacks, silver trim has all been adjusted. Gunbreaker and Dancer arms are now available. That you can get from there as well. Heavens on High, same thing. Adjustments have been made to the sacks, and Gunbreaker and Dancer items can be acquired. The Lawns and expanded of Stone, Sky, and Sea has been added. The Lawns offer a trial tailored for various high-level duties, which players will be tasked with destroying a level 80 striking divinity. To access the Lawns, player must first complete the following quest, and yet another striking opportunity, level 80 in Ulamore. The following adjustments have been made to the Logos actions for the Forbidden Land Eureka. The effect which reduces TP cost has been removed, and the effect which restores TP has been replaced with the effect that restores HP. So for PvP trials or traits have been removed. Wow. In accordance with this change, the traits tab of the PvP profile has been removed. Wow, okay. PvP actions for all jobs have been adjusted. Additional actions are now adjusted based on the current job role. The following adjustments have been made to PvP. TP has been removed. That would be weird if they kept it. The range of melee attacks has been increased from 3 to 5. The global cooldown time for actions has been increased from 2.3 to 2.4 seconds. HP recovery rate outside of combat has been increased from 10% to 20% of maximum HP. MP recovery rate in combat has been increased from 200 to 250. MP recovery rate outside of combat has increased from 400 to 500. Players will now be granted temporary immunity to knockback and draw-in effects after being affected by them. EXP yielded after a match will now be granted to the job used at the time of registration rather than the current job of the match. We did it! We did it! Oh, this is going to be fantastic. It was always so annoying. This is what I want to get experience on. Oh, we came into the match and we got to change it up. Okay, well, it's like, this is great. You queue for what you need. You play what's needed. Everybody wins. That's good. Well, hopefully everybody wins. We'll find out. Feast PvP team season has ended. The top commands of the PvP seasons will receive rewards at the VM. I don't know why I cannot read that for the love of goodness. Okay, we're moving on. New items have been added. You can see some of the, looks like the 5.0, due to the volume of items added, the release of patch 5.0, they will not be listed in the patch notes. Okay, not a shocker, but I really like the design of this gear, especially that tank gear. Holy crap, I love that helmet. I guess, I don't know if I don't think he's a Ronso. So, either way, they have Vera, so if Ronso can wear that helmet, then by all means. New recipes have been added. Certain items may now be sold, desynthesis, submitted to expert deliveries, and converted into materia. Certain items can no longer be sold. Okay. The sale price of certain items has been changed. The following names have been changed. So the Fairy Voucher is now Fairy Voucher the 15th, 16th, 17th. Rising Token, 5th Rising Token, Pumpkin Cookie, Ripe Pumpkin Cookie. The main attributes of accessories have been adjusted in accordance with the rebalancing of the battle system. The main attributes of the 8th Rate Earring when equipped by a tank has been changed from Vitality to Strength. The Haste attribute on certain equipment is now displayed with a plus sign rather than a minus sign. The attribute itself remains unchanged. The new item available in exchange for achievement certificates has been added. The Gunbreaker and Dancer have been added as required jobs for certain gear. And the following adjustments have been made to materia melding. When melding fails, it is now possible to immediately reattempt the meld, so as long as more of the same materia is present in the melder's inventory. The following attributes can no longer be improved via materia: Strength, Vitality, Dexterity, Int, and Mind. After watching it the first time, it is now possible to skip the cutscene when requesting the transmutation from Unimex and Central Thandalin. The following types of materia are no longer able to be obtained, and their attribute-enhancing capabilities have been removed. Goodbye, all of you wonderful materia. Get out of here. All right. The skill cap for desynthesis has been increased. I don't know why I can't say that word. Individual class skill cap is going from 380 to 450, and cumulative skill cap is from 1160 to 1370. The level cap for Disciples of the Hand and Land has been increased to 80. The elemental aspects have been removed from the synthesis recipes. New crafter actions has been added. Brand of Elements, Name of Elements. So that's kind of where they're taking the Brand of Wind, Name of Wind, all kind of, squishing it together into just 2 skills. Preparatory Touch, Rapid Synthesis, Reuse, Delicate Synthesis, Intensive Synthesis, Trained Eye, and Trained Instinct. The following actions have been are now available to all crafting classes: Steady Hand 2 and Brigot's Blessing. Accordingly, they can no longer be set as additional actions. The following crafter actions has been removed: Brand of Wind, Bow, Name of Wind, Fire, ice, wind, water, earth, heart, all that good stuff. And then so all that's been removed basically in coordination with that change itself. The following conditions have been added to crafter actions. Enter quiet. The bonus to control can be stacked with innovation but cannot exceed 3,000. Heart of the carpenter can only be used up to 5 times per synthesis. Blacksmith, enter quiet. Heart of the blacksmith, enter quiet. Heart of the armor, etc., etc. I'll let you guys, again, the link is in the description of this video if you guys want to go and look at this. It literally is pretty much the same thing. Like Maker's Mark, effective up to 25 steps. Like some interesting adjustments here, but I don't necessarily feel like I need to repeat it. Like, oh, the bonus of the control stacked up to 3,000. So muscle memory, increase the progress cannot be exceeded to 1,000. So if you guys want to go dive into that, feel free. Otherwise, you can go hands-on. I'm really excited about what's coming up. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the crafting log. The maximum percentage which initially quality can be raised by HQ materials is now displayed on recipes. And so we've also seen HP quality go up from 50% to 75%, which is going to be a huge boost to a high quality material, especially in the price market, I think. That's my speculation. The value of both progress and quality increased 100%. Efficiency are now displayed on recipes in your current equipped crafting class. The class quest category has been changed to read story. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the synthesis window. So this is so cool. I love this. I love how this looks. It looks so much better in my mind. The UI has been adjusted to make durability and condition information easier to understand. A symbol indicating that a collectible synthesis is in progress is now displayed in the window, and statuses applied by crafter actions are now displayed in the window. The value of both progress and quality increases at 100% efficiency are now displayed in the window as well. Calculations for increasing the progress and quality assuming a base 100% efficiency have been adjusted. In accordance with this change, the effectiveness of actions affecting progress and quality has now been slightly reduced for recipes added prior to Shadowbringers. The difficulty of certain recipes found in Master Recipes 5 and Master Recipe 6 has been reduced. The actions and traits have been added to the Disciples of the Land. So you can see Miner gets several things. Are these the same? It looks like it, except for the Pioneer. So you have Stickler, the Giving Land, Pick Clean, and then you have the Mind of, whatever you're looking at, Pioneer, Mountaineer. For Fisher, you got Surface Slap, Identical Gig, and then Identical Cast. So new traits, Enhanced Stealth, Enhanced GP Restoration, Goalie Eye for Fisher. You have that and the same kind of concept there. New Miner and Botanist Gathering Points have been added, which would be weird if they didn't do that. The following additions and adjustments have been made to fishing. New fishing holes have been added. S-rank records can now be obtained from certain fishing spots listed in the fishing log. The following additions and adjustments have been made to spearfishing. A new teaming of waters have been added, and AAA records can now be obtained with all gigs heads listed in the fishing log. New tomes of regional folklore have been added. New items can be used for the ethereal reduction has been added. The amount of items received from ethereal reduction has been adjusted. The freshwater bullies and saltwater bullies bait effective on a wide variety of fish in 2.0 areas have been added. These items can be purchased at all shops within 2.0 areas and the pillars where the bait is sold. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the gathering log. Entries related to the regional folklore are now categorized by region. Regions for which you have not read the folklore will appear in the category list but contain no entries. Gathering location, time, and information will now be displayed for any items successfully gathered through the undiscovered or hidden gathering points. This data will be displayed for any item previously gathered under these conditions upon the release of 5.0. Gathering time information will now be displayed for any items successfully gathered from ethereal gathering points. The data will be displayed for any items previously gathered under these conditions upon the release of 5.0. A timer indicating when the item will next be available for gathering can now be created for any item successfully gathered from an undiscovered hidden or ethereal gathering point. There we go. This function can now be accessed by opening the submenu from the item's name and selecting Set Timer for the occurrence. Players above level 70 will now receive a maximum of 10,000 experience when trading collectibles of 70 star or lower. The amount of XP received from delivering collectibles as a level 60 to 70 gatherer has been increased. The following additions and adjustments have been made to crafters and gatherer scripts. The white crafter scripts and the white gatherer scripts currencies have been added for Disciples of the Hand and Land that are level 80. Players will be able to exchange their collectible items for these scripts at Splendor exchanges starting at level 80 and can save up a maximum of 2,000 at any given time. Ooh, I don't know, man, feeling a little winded. Note to work the game, make new controller guides for people like me. You got it, dude. Absolutely. Especially because you're a member. Especially, well, not just because you're a member, but thank you for your support. Red Crafter scripts and Red Gather scripts are no longer obtainable. In accordance with this change, all activities which yielded Red Crafter and Gather scripts will now yield Yellow Crafter and Gather scripts. Red Crafter and Gather scripts can now be exchanged for Yellow Crafter and Gather scripts at the Script Exchange in Reverend's Toll. Currency held Red Crafter and Gather scripts will not be lost, but they can no longer be exchanged for items. The items that were previously available in exchange for Red scripts can now be acquired with Yellow Crafter and Gather scripts. Blue Crafter scripts and Blue Gather scripts have been removed. The amount of Yellow and Gather and blah 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 required for exchange items has been adjusted. The amount of Crafter and Gather scripts removed from delivering collectibles has been adjusted. Received, excuse me. I don't know why I saw removed. Level 70 arms, gear, and accessories has been added to the inventory of vendors of Kugane. New items have been added to the inventory of Calamity Scavengers. And new mounts have been added. We got a freaking Triceratops. A little white dragon wyvern thing. That looks really nice. The following mounts are now available for flying, which is great. Now there's a reason for me to finally go and get the ones that I'm really close to finishing. New chocobo boarding has been added. Yay. New minions have been added. I really like that one. He's like, give me a hug. All right. System changes. Finally, the real meat after the battle. A market board has been added to the Crystarium. So good to know. In accordance with the addition of the new market board, reduced tax rates have been adjusted. The following additions and adjustments have been made. Retainers. Retainers can now be registered at Crystarium markets. The Hrothgar and Vera are now selectable as retainer races for customization. Hairstyle and face paint obtained as rewards can now be applied to retainers. A retainer cap has been increased to level 80. Retainers can now be assigned Gunbreaker and Dancer jobs. The assigned Gunbreaker and Dancer jobs to retainers, the following requirements must be met. Retainers cannot already be assigned a job. They must be reset if they are. Retainers must be Disciples of War of Magic level 60 and higher. They must be at level 60 or higher for the job that they wish to assign their retainers, and players must possess a copy of Modern Vocation. New objectives have been added to the delivery missions of Exploration Ventures. Exploration Ventures are now displayed within the highest level ventures first. The retainer interface has been redesigned and selections can now be reordered. Yes, so excited. The retainer interface can now remain open upon retainer dismissal. Yay! The retainer animations upon being summoned or dismissed have been adjusted to increase the responsiveness of the interface. The color of retainer nameplates have been changed to that of NPCs. The new achievements and titles have been added. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the achievements. Certain categories have been adjusted. Achievements can now be selected via subcommands and reordered to the watch list for easy access. Achievements can now be fitted by completion status or type of reward. Clicking on an achievement or a relevant category will no longer automatically open its primary category. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the recommendations window. Hunt marks are now displayed in recommendations. Sightseeing cues are now being displayed in recommendations. The hunting log entries for both class and grain company are now appear in the same category, and the window can now be locked. The following additions and adjustments have been made to Party Finder. Links to the Party Finder listings can now be posted in the chat log. Pressing the chat button within the recruiting listing will create a link in that chat log, which can then be sent as a message. This is amazing. I love that little fix itself. Sometimes it's like, I can't find it. Where is it? You're in your Crossworld Link shell. You're in your free company or whatever. It's like copy and paste. Go, here you go. Click this link. Clicking the link in the chat log will open the corresponding Party Finder. Yay! A player's current Party Finder listing can now be opened via the chat log. Cross-world party invitations to players on other worlds can now be used via the chat log. Open the subcommenu assertion of the player's name in the chat log to see relevant subcommands. The following actions and adjustments have been made to the party list, so you can kind of see. TP's gone. Obviously, we're getting the shields. So party list now indicates HP increasing granting barriers, and the party list now indicates when maximum HP has been reduced. The battle animations for allied NPCs and quest battles will now always appear. The effect cannot be disabled via the settings, and the effects cannot be disabled via settings in the character configuration interface. The adjustments will be considered for future patches for all existing quest battles prior to 5.0. The amount of glamours that can be stored in glamour dressers has been increased to 200, from 200 to 400. So yes, I know a lot of people are really thrilled about that. The amount of glamour plates has been increased from 10 to 15. The following changes have been made to group pose. So trust system NPCs will now be included in the group pose at the time of the duty completion. Trust and squadron NPCs will now repeat their most recently executed action upon duty completion. Recordable duties have been changed. The 2 Shadowbringers trials are now available in the duty recorder. So the fact they've added 2, that's great. A target's HP is now being displayed in increments of 0.1% when it has less than 1% remaining. Select display target's remaining HP percentage in character configuration to use this feature. The UI color scheme can now be set to either dark or light. This option can be found in the Theme Settings tab of the System Configuration menu. Accessible from the system selection of the main menu, changes will take effect upon the next login. It's great. I'm hoping for more. I really would love to see them do a blue theme. That's kind of classic Final Fantasy to me. In accordance with the increased level cap, the conditions that must be met to set your status to new adventure has been adjusted as follows. So before, have played less than 168 hours and have not completed the main scenario quest, The Far Edge of Fate. Now have played, played less than 68 hours, 168 hours still remains. Have not completed the main scenario quest, A Requiem for Heroes. So that's going to be lots of sprouts for a while. Players who no longer have the new adventure status but fulfill the above requirements can restore it by using the text command NA status on. The coinciding with the increased level cap, the requirements for new mentors have been adjusted as follows. So for Disciples of War and Magic, you got to have the level tank role quest, level 80 role quest, must have completed at least one of the level 80 DPS role quests, must have completed 1,000 dungeons, and must have at least 300 player commendations. The Disciples of the Hand and the Land requirements must have reached level 80 as at least one Disciple of the Land, level 80 one Disciple of the Hand, must have synthesized at least 100 collectibles, and must have gathered at least 300 collectibles. Players who obtain certification prior to the release of 5.0 but do not meet the new requirements will retain their current status for the duration of 5.0. However, as patch 5.1, to ensure that all the mentors are held to the same standard, changes will be implemented to encourage mentors who qualify under the old system to obtain recertification. The following additions and adjustments have been made to cross-world link shells. The number of cross-world link shells that a single character can create or join has been increased from 1 to 8. This is fantastic, and they can also now be reordered. That's great. The member list can now be configured to show online members at the top. Fantastic. Options to sort the list by number or alphabetically have been added. Thank you. That's all I wanted. Not all I wanted, but thank you. DualShock 4 on the gamepad's and vibrate function will now vibrate when the duty finder matching is completed. The following additions and adjustments have been made to cutscenes. Text related to the formation of disbanding of the party will no longer appear if a cutscene is in progress. Thank you. The manage of which the dialogue selection are displayed has been changed. I like this. I like this change. That is a clean change. I've been doing a lot of cutscene stuff recently, and whenever it has that pop-up, it just is annoying. So this is, I think, looks a little bit more, integrated. The position of identifying a letter next to the focus target's name has been changed. So you can see here that was the end. Now it's at the beginning. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the map. There are now separate toggle icons to turn map text and map icons on and off. Certain quest objective icons have been changed to indicate elevation. Yay! It's got a little down arrow. It's got a little up arrow. Yes. That's going to be a huge, huge help. Job gauge details have been revised. The order in which character names are displayed has been adjusted in accordance with the changes made to pets. The battle and other tabs of the currency window have been revised. The unlimited setting under the frame rate limit in the display settings section of system configuration has been replaced with a maximum of 90 frames per second setting. That's a little weird. I mean, if you have like 100, like if you can run 144 frames, why not run 144 frames? I wonder if that has anything to do with the battle system in which that you have like all these different people, just sit here and say like, okay, you're running, like you have an obvious advantage when you're running a more FPS. Okay. I would if I get the opportunity, that's something I would like to know, if there was a technical reason for this, platform reason for this. Weird. Okay. Well, bye-bye 144 frames. I don't have a 144 frame monitor, but soon, hopefully. Additions have been made to the system configuration interface theme settings. Shocker. Settings have been removed for the character configuration interface. Display name settings, so pets, other party members, alliance members, NPCs, and friends. Your pets, others tab. Guess you can't turn them off. Alright. Additions have been made to the character configuration interface. Control settings, target tab, disable targeting of pets and minions when in battle. Thank you. Log window settings, cross-worlding shell, 2 through 8. Additional adjustments have been made to the keybind menu. Shortcuts tab, fate completion in the trust. Chat tab, so you can see all the various temporary switch chat blah blah blahs. I'm not going to read that list. In addition, the adjustments have been made to the text commands. The following text commands have been added. So you can see CLW1 and then all the way through 8 to be able to kind of send a message to the different LS chat channels. The cross-world link shell command will now send a message to your currently active cross-world link shell. The following text commands have been removed. Add PvP trait and Goss Barrel. Pet actions will no longer be used as subcommands in the text commands listed below. Goodbye, Brian Summoner Macros. Get out of here. The following aliases have now been adjusted. And below 100% percentages, they will be displayed to the first decimal place. So you can say HPP, MPP, blah, 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 blah. Com, target, and focus HPPP. HP, it will no longer be displayed if a pet is designated. The following aliases have been removed. So pet HP percentage, and TP. Additions have been made to the auto-translation dictionary, so they've added more things. So some dictionary entries have been removed in accordance with the additions and adjustments to actions. And only the auto-translate symbols will now appear in the macros that previously used these entries. Additions have been made to the PlayStation 4 autocomplete dictionary. New music has been added. In order to reduce the server congestion upon the release of patch 5.0, the following measures will be implemented temporarily. We will, so they're going to monitor this. Players who are inactive for 30 minutes will be logged out automatically. New areas will be split into multiple instances. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the character creation. The default appearance of characters as displayed on the race and clan section screen has been adjusted. Hairstyle options can now be limited to favorites only. Hairstyle and face paint options obtained as rewards are now marked accordingly with the aesthetician. Hairstyle face paint options obtained as rewards can now be used when customizing retainer appearances. Character on accounts with active subscriptions will be prioritized in login queues. Okay, so I'm guessing that's over the free accounts, like the free trial? Characters on accounts with active subscription will be prioritized. It's got to be with the free trial unless they're, unless something is about to change. Support for the Mac 64 version has begun, while support for the Mac 32-bit version has ended. The following additions and adjustments have been made along with the release of Mac 64. Auto-translate function is now available. Previously sent message can now be displayed and re-entered using the up and down arrow keys, and additions have been made to the system configuration interface. Square Enix account passwords can now be saved on PlayStation 4. We knew that was coming. I wouldn't mind having the option on PC, but we'll see. The title screen logo and opening movie have been changed to those of Shadowbringers, and Gunbreaker and Dancer have been added to the solo rankings for Palace of the Dead and Heaven on High. Oh boy, that was a long list of notes and an incredibly exciting list of notes. What say you, chat? Thanks for hanging out this entire time. I know I've been more focusing on obviously reading it. The active sub seems interesting. Obviously, it's got to be with a free trial. Or I guess, when you're... Nasana... sorry if I'm... Natasana is saying that. Or like when there's like a free login weeks, etc. So whenever they do permit people to come in, people who subscribe have priority. Baron says excited for Gunbreaker. Veneto, I love it. If we got like a craft bag to put it all the mats in, that in a tackle box too, absolutely. Hype boy Jito is commenting. Shima says I'm excited. Net positive for me. Yeah, I think there's a lot of net positives here. Rozoga says fun patch notes. But I'd say nothing too crazy than what we've saw. Yeah, like outside of a few. Just kind of quality of life adjustments, and obviously like kind of the quest and some of these screenshots of the mounts and stuff. Like it's if you've been following the news, like there isn't anything like just mind blowing like what. I do like some of the changes. I do like the fact that I can link the party recruit function. That's freaking huge. So the second thing wasn't Goetta new Tomestone meant something about summoning demons like in Bible times? I don't know, but that's something I can we can look up. Wouldn't be surprising in that regards, especially with how it relates. If you're collecting that, if you're Warrior of Darkness, it seems like that's how it's going to tie in. Mark says the first week will be crazy as we get used to the new things. Yes, it's going to be nuts. The Fates thing I'm really excited about. The Fates thing is just, and I like that it's kind of tracking your progress almost very via the travel menu like as before. So that's going to be fantastic. I think it's Kai says I think it was like King Solomon summoning them. Well, maybe. Predrebo says, "What do we do with our materia now?" Well, if it's the stat stuff, it's no longer going to be attainable. So wait till 5.0 and then go to Mutimex to transmute that into something else. So Omfest says for Heidelin it's called Echo. What would it be called for the Warriors of Darkness under Zodiark? Well, they've actually referred to it as the Echo too. Like when I have my Heaven's Word story summary video going out here in a little bit, but the even Zodiark, they like the La Habrea in them, they have the power of the Echo. Behold the true he's like, behold the true power of the Echo, the ability to I guess maybe Dark Echo if you want to kind of classify it, but it's like the ability to kind of shape reality, and it's apparently really powerful stuff. So we'll have to wait and see how that kind of comes out. Yeko says I'm becoming a Gunbreaker. Can't wait for you. I'm so excited. It's gonna be great. So then Benja says, do you think we will get the stubble beard from the guy in the benchmark? We better. I don't know if we're going to get it at launch, but I think that's going to, if they don't have it at launch, I think that's something they're going to work towards. Hopefully they know that people want to kind of have that stubble. I think it looks kind of cool. Will says, I love the new content additions and it looks like fun, but will it be enough to keep us busy for long? So you got the story going from 70 to 80. You got the 2 trials. You got the raids that drop in on the 16th, and then you got Savage that drops on the 30th. And you also have the maps, etc. So and then you got 5.1. I think it's gonna be a lot of content, because then you also, like, if you want to level up all their jobs. So for me, it's gonna be a lot of content. If you get geared up, if you're having fun, chances are probably they're gonna have like the summer events. They're gonna there's all these other things that are gonna end up happening over the next 3 months. But probably sometime in September or like October, you might be able to find yourself to kind of step away, take a break, and then come back with 5.1 that will be most likely in November. So they got a really good cycle. We got a lot of content also coming in 5.1. So honestly, I feel like there is a lot to do over the next 6 months at a minimum for this game before you can kind of get into kind of that cruise control where you just kind of let me just run this content, enjoy it, and go out and about from there. Hey, Sean. Let's see here. Sorry if I miss a question or anything like that, make sure you tag it Work to Game, because it shows up in the chat much easier, because some of the chat's kind of moving kind of quick with everybody watching here. Let's see here. What else we got? I gotta go here in 3 minutes and get some work done because it's a work day. Let's see here. How long do you think it will take to go from 70 to 80 with MSQ? If you watch the cutscenes, they're kind of classifying it as a 40-hour RPG, kind of like a kind of single-player RPG. So if you watch the cutscenes and you do that and you do trust, I could see it taking that long. I think if you're kind of burning and churning and you're just hitting your every possible XP thing, I think when I was doing Stormblood from 60 to 70, it was taking me about 3.5 to 4 days. And that was not with the MSQ. That was just with my bonuses. So I think you could probably get through it, if you're playing hardcore, maybe 20 hours, something like that. Jake says, how long do you think it will take to go to 70 to 80 with the MSQ? Seems like everybody is really interested in that. Hopefully that does that. For me, Varian, it is Summoner. Kai says, tell people to use the motorbike to get a speed boost prior to being able to buy the speed of the maps. Yeah, we believe that the motorbike, if you have it, literally is going to have the first speed unlocked in the new zones, thus essentially giving you kind of a speed boost before you can actually unlock the speed boost on the rest of your maps. Soro asks, what will you guys be streaming since they asked not to stream MSQ? we will be streaming MSQ. We will be tagging it with spoilers. So they didn't actually ask to not stream MSQ. What they asked was not to make videos, not to post it on social media, not to share that so that somebody literally is not going to just step into it. So what we actually put out a video this weekend talking about, like, if you're streaming or if you're planning on watching a stream, make sure that you're looking for that spoiler tag. So just keep that in mind. There will be spoilers. We'll be streaming the MSQ. Dave asks, hi Brian, thank you for all you do. Do you think that they will give out free Fantasia at some point like they did in the previous expansion? They might at some point, but to be very clear to you, like, honestly, no. Like, I think if they do it, it's going to be something later for whatever reason. They have no plans. Otherwise, like before the expansion came with the free Fantasia, I've already gone out and purchased mine. Tonight, when I stream, I'm literally going to strip naked, drink my potion, and log out. And as I bid farewell to Stormblood after I do all my inventory management and hang out with you guys. So let's see here. Jeffrey says, do you feel that Scholars got the buffs that they needed? I don't, Jeffrey. Honestly, they're probably going to be fantastic, and I just need to go hands-on more with them. It was a little bit overwhelming, to be honest, when I was hands-on with it earlier. So I'm going to really kind of dive into it as I'm taking Summoner Scholar through the MSQ. Almafest asks, have you asked to host Sir Medieval? Just curious. He has been streaming PSO2. I don't know who Sir Medieval is, so if you're on our Discord, Almfest, be sure to hit me a link with his channel or their channel, and I'll reach out to them. Because, we actually were supposed to have Want to Buy Gold on the podcast today, but he didn't end up showing up, so that's why I'm doing the patch notes. So that's kind of how that kind of shifted and changed for me. Zolsta says, what are the chances of all Aether and Primal to become 100% lockdown during maintenance? Maybe. Chances. I don't know. Orifon, thanks so much for the $2 cheer. Can we get some hearts in chat for Orifin? Excuse me if I pronounce it right. All right, I got a couple minutes. I got a couple more questions, and I'm gonna have to cut it off because I gotta go work because this don't pay the bills. Let's see here. Insomniac Gaming Theater. With the changes to all the classes, what can we expect updates to the various class guides? Yes, you can. We're going to be rocking those out in a various series covering a wide range from a controller, rotation, getting started kind of concepts like that. So we're going to be trying to hit that pretty hard. I'm off work starting the 28th through the 7th, so I'm going to see how many I can get knocked out in said time. Aaron says, what change did you hate the most? I'm curious and worried about the 90 frames per second change. Seems odd. I'm sure there's a reason, and that's honestly, like, I would more or less just like to know why. Like, they can do what they want. It's their game. If it ends up being like, it ends up helping them out a lot, then great. But it just seems like a weird thing. David says, do you know what happens to macros for removed abilities? The command doesn't necessarily function. So the macros still work. It's just going to skip over or toss an error message for whenever it tries to do the command. How did working with pets feel? And actually, much easier. Rock Druid has asking how did working with pets feel? Much easier, so much simpler. Really enjoyed it, and it's going to be neat to see how it kind of weaves in, especially as a summoner. Honestly, the easiest part about it is that the best part about it is all those guides are done. Like all the ones that talking about these macros and switching out pet actions and blah 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 for your cross hotbars. Thank God that's gone. Like, get out of here. We're done with it. Let's see here. Thurs your channel. Thurs your channels. Works to games. Ocean Stalker. Okay, I don't get it. Sean says, I'm on PS4. When I can start downloading, can you do it during maintenance? Yes, you can, Sean. Wow, Jeffrey, thanks so much for the $10. I really appreciate that. Can we get some hearts in chat for Jeffrey for helping support the channel, making it easy, make me stand on a few more minutes. Let's see here. Gotta go to work. Yeah, I will do, Esper. I'm gonna hang out for just a minute more because of Jeffrey and his cheer. I'm gonna get some more questions. 222 CKC says, above 100 frames per second, people can glitch things and go out of bounds. Maybe that. Thank you, 222. If that's essentially why they're then limiting that makes a lot of sense as to why they can kind of prevent that from happening. So appreciate that answer, because I was like, it sounds like a technical thing. It'd be weird for them not to do that. Let's see here. Itzada says, no questions here. Just wanted to wish you guys a great day before I head out. Thanks, Itzada. Wishing you a great day as well. We got a couple more questions, and these questions are sponsored by Jeffrey with this cheer. Trey says, will you take a picture of protection for the last time? That's a really good idea, especially from a group pose. Like, here, bidding farewell to protection. Should have done that for Stone Skin, so thanks, Trey, for helping me to remember to do that. Super Me Crazy One Gaming says, 589 people, but only 10 likes. Do you really support Work the Game? Hit the like button if you like. It's all good. Thanks, Super. I appreciate it. I actually don't have I'm not actually monitoring the stream. So I don't have any idea. I didn't want to get like in the middle of the thing and be like, oh, thanks so much for the likes, but appreciate you asking as well. Zilius Gaming says, when will the servers come back up? 4 a.m. Central Time, 5 Eastern. That's 2 Pacific Time on the 28th. So early Friday morning, we'll be live. We'll have some fun with it. Obsidian Dragon, this is, what are you most excited about? Sorry, came late. I am excited about going into the new zones, the fate changes, and I cannot wait to experience the story. Will with a $1 cheer. Thank you, Will. It gets me another minute. I do need to go, but it's like, you guys are great. Anybody have any more questions? Sponsored by Will. I will take one more question, and make sure you tag it Work to Game. It shows up with a nice little, like, for me, yellow or orange. So it really kind of shows up. This is not the question, not the last question, but Tom Peck asks, is EU launched the same day? Yeah, worldwide release. So adjust for your time zone in that regards. I'll take one more question. First person to tag it Work to Game, and that will be considered the last question. Please tell them they're not getting Stormblood for free. They should be if they get Shadowbringers. Shadowbringers, unless for some reason they've announced it and then it wasn't featured here in the notes that it's different. How do you feel about blocking and parry changes Work to Game? It is. I think it might be tied with the healing changes. I think obviously with the fact that if you're not reducing as much damage, then you're going to need more healing. So I think it literally is kind of tied into that. So thanks, Zach, for that question. Hashtag Work to Game. I didn't know that also worked as well, so that's good to know. @ and hash. Cool. Sweet. Thanks, guys, everybody, for hanging out. Obviously, thanks for anybody watching this on the archive. It is coming. We are so close. Also, if you're here, be sure to check back at 1 o'clock. We have our Heaven's Word story summary going live at that point. I hope you enjoy that video. Guys, for Work to Game, my name is Brian. Thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.